Looking for the best compact phones to suit your needs? In this video, we're diving into some of the top options available right now. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the links in the description to find the best deals within your budget. Let's get Number 1. iPhone 17 Notable Upgrades. To Apple's basic lineup are introduced by the iPhone 17, particularly in expanding access to capabilities beyond the Pro variants. Though it looks familiar, the design is now somewhat more rounded, making it more comfortable to hold. With an aluminum frame, a matte glass back, and IP68 protection, it features a newer generation ceramic shield on the front. Compared to previous standard versions, scrolling and animations are much better on the new 6.3-inch display with ProMotion 120Hz. Additionally, under specific circumstances, it can achieve high brightness levels and enables always-on display. With 8 GB of RAM, the A19 CPU delivers top-notch performance, prioritizing efficiency and enhancing AI capabilities with Apple Intelligence. More space is available out of the box with the new storage starting at 256 GB. In keeping with Apple's usual processing method, the camera system features two 48-megapixel sensors, one for the main camera and one for the ultra-wide lens. With support for rapid wired and MagSafe charging, the battery life is certified for long video playback. The base model with 256 GB of storage space costs about $799, while the 1 TB version might cost over $1,099. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy S25. The Galaxy S25 is an example of a tiny flagship that sticks to more conventional design principles. With a weight of only around 167 grams, it maintains a tiny profile and is easy to use with one hand. Protected by IP68 and featuring Armor Aluminum and Gorilla Glass Victus 2, the design is mostly unchanged from prior iterations while maintaining a minimalist and functional aesthetic. Adaptive 120Hz and 2600 nits of brightness characterize the 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X screen. It works reliably in a variety of lighting situations and is sharp and fluid throughout. The efficiency-focused and AI-featured Snapdragon 8 Elite powers the Galaxy's performance in all areas with 12 GB of RAM as standard. With the same 50-megapixel primary, 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and 10-megapixel 3x telephoto lenses, the camera hardware holds steady. Updates, such as those pertaining to processing and visual capabilities, are primarily software-driven. Even though charging speeds are still average, the battery's efficiency upgrades have increased its overall endurance, keeping it at 4,000 mAh. Staying competitive among tiny flagships, pricing starts at roughly $800 for 128 GB and goes up to about $860 for the 256 GB version. And finally, if you're looking at the compact side from Apple's ecosystem, this is where things land. Number 3. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. With an improved design all around, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 keeps honing the idea of a clamshell foldable. It's now easier to carry because to its slimmer design, which measures roughly 13.7 mm when folded and 6.5 mm when unfurled. With an IP48 rating for basic protection and an enhanced hinge design, this model employs Armor Aluminum and Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Now featuring a 4:1 full screen panel that encircles the camera area, the exterior display is the main attraction. You can run several apps directly on it, so you don't have to open your phone as much. It's not only for alerts though. The 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display is the major attraction. And it's obviously a flagship model thanks to its 120Hz refresh rate and great brightness. An Exynos 2500 with 12 GB of RAM takes care of performance. Although it may become hot with prolonged intensive use, it should be fine for most purposes. Without a telephoto lens, the camera system maintains a dual layout of a 50MP primary and a 12MP ultra-wide. A respectable, but unremarkable 4,300 mAh battery powers this foldable. Prices range from approximately $1,100 for 256 GB to about $1,220 for 512 GB. If you prefer something compact without folding, Samsung also has a more conventional flagship option. Number 4. Google Pixel 8a. In terms of small form factor, the Pixel 8a veers off the road a little. The emphasis is on software experience rather than physical specifications, particularly in the areas of camera and AI. The rear is made of matte polycarbonate, which is lighter than glass and better at resisting fingerprints. The design is more rounded. Despite its aluminum construction and IP67 certification, it remains reasonably durable. The 6.1-in organic light-emitting diode display can reach brightness levels of about 2000 nits and has a refresh rate of 120 Hz. Even while the bezels are still somewhat thicker than those of some competitors, it's still sleek and useful outside. The emphasis here is on AI-based features rather than sheer performance, powered by the Tensor G3. In normal use, it should seem smooth. Nevertheless, performance may change under larger loads owing to heat issues. Among its many strengths is the camera configuration, which boasts a 64-megapixel primary and a 13-megapixel ultra-wide, and is renowned for its uniform color reproduction and wide dynamic range. The charging speeds are somewhat moderate and the battery capacity is 4,492 mAh. It is more affordable than the majority of the options on this list, starting at roughly $500 for 128 GB and $560 for the 256 GB version. Now, going back to foldables, but with a slightly different flavor and ecosystem support. Number 5. Asus Zenfone 10. One of the few phones that still really commits to being small in a traditional sense is the Zenfone 10, which is quite rare. Compared to most modern smartphones, its 5.9-inch screen and its 170G weight make it feel much smaller. With their metal frame and textured polycarbonate back, these shoes are both stylish and functional. Along with meeting basic durability requirements, it has an IP68 rating. A 5.92-inch AMOLED screen with Full HD Plus quality powers the screen. It runs smoothly without draining the battery too quickly thanks to its support for up to 144 Hz in specific situations and 120 Hz in typical use. The brightness is adequate for outdoor use, but it isn't the best in its class. You can still rely on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for all of your everyday needs and even some light gaming, but during longer hard sessions, heat accumulation can become obvious due to the smaller body. A 50-megapixel primary sensor and a 6-axis gimbal stabilizer power the camera system, which aids in steady video capture, but restricts zoom capabilities in the absence of a telephoto lens. The 4,300 mAh battery isn't particularly innovative, but it's efficient, so it can withstand regular use. Depending on the arrangement, the pricing ranges from approximately $700 to $800. If you're okay with slightly larger dimensions, but still want something manageable, the next one shifts focus towards software and camera experience.